So what I'm going to do real quick is quickly run through what series means in terms of batteries and what parallel means in terms of batteries. So right here I've got the definition, and it's when you connect two or more batteries together to increase the voltage. And of course you do this by connecting the positives and the negatives. So if you take a look at this diagram right here, we got two 6-volt batteries at 10 amp hours each. So you take both the batteries, you put them together. Your negative on this side is going to become your output, the positive on this side is going to become your output, and right here you're going to connect the positive and the negative together. Therefore you're joining these batteries up in series. So what actually happens is that doubles the voltage, but the amp hours will stay the same. So the output of this battery together, which is connected in series, is going to be 12 volts at 10 amp hours. And now we're actually on our parallel connection, so the definition is actually only slightly different to the series version. So what it is when you connect two or more batteries together to increase the amp hour capacity. So with a parallel connection, what you want to do is actually bring the positive to the positive and the negatives to the negatives. So right here, if you take a look at this diagram, we've got this positive connected to this battery's positive, which now makes that the positive output. And now if we look at the negative, we've got a negative go into the negative terminal, which now makes this our negative output. And what actually happens is that the voltage will stay the same, but the amp hour capacity will actually double. So therefore this whole battery pack will now be 6 volts at 20 amp hours. Okay, so I've been busy drawing cups, and you can clearly see that there is not as many as there actually was in my video, otherwise I'd be here all day drawing cups. So what I've done is I've adjusted it just a little bit, so instead of it producing anywhere between 10 to 15 milliamps per cell, I've actually changed that to 100 milliamps. Therefore it makes it a lot easier for me to understand, because I'm talking in terms of my salt battery. So right here is 0.8 volts at 100 milliamps, and that is per cell. So what we're actually going to do is start connecting each row of the cells into series to create the first pack. And we spoke about that, so what we actually do is connect the negative to the positive, 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 and that makes this negative right here our output, and this positive right here our output too. Now, what that actually is, there's 5 cells, times that by 0.8 of a volt, that equals, what, 4 volts? So now that's a pack at 4 volts at 0.1 amps. So now we can actually think of each line of these cells as their own battery pack. So each one of these battery packs are 4 volts at 0.1 amps, and we've got 4 of them. So now what we're actually going to do is to connect them into parallel, and this is actually pretty easy. Like we spoke about at the beginning of the video, what we do is connect our negative to our negative, our negative to our negative, our negative to our negative, and there is our negative output. And now we do the same thing for the positive side, so we take our positive output, connect it to the positive, connect it to the positive, connect it to the positive, and there is our output. Just like so. And now we've actually connected these up into parallel. This makes this whole pack 4 volts at 0.4 amps, or 400 amp hours. No, not amp hours, sorry, milliamps. So a really cool analogy for thinking of a series circuit would be to think of it as a TV show with a story. So what you're going to do is you're going to watch one episode after another episode after another episode until you finish that series, and now you've got the full story. We can think of this the same way with these batteries. So we've got one battery after another battery after another battery after another battery after another battery, and what you're actually going to do is to build up that voltage. And there we go, there's the differences between series and parallel connections when you're talking in terms of batteries, and I do find this stuff incredibly interesting. With that being said, that does bring me to the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you have any questions or suggestions, please don't hesitate to leave them in the comments, and I'll try my best to answer them all. Anyway guys, I hope you have the most fantastic day, and I'll see you later.